Hello, hello. I am here. I am live. I'm almost done. She is almost finished. I have just a little bit left to do. The last time we were together, I was working on the main section over here. That is finished. I love the way she turned out. And I had just this little strip left to do. And I'm almost done with it. Originally, I was going to try something a little bit different than the main section. I pulled a piece of it and put it here and then changed it a little bit. So it looks similar at a quick glance, but it's just slightly different. Let me just quickly check. Yep, looking okay. And then I thought that when we get together on Saturday, I want to share with you some of my practice pieces because I know I talk about practice, practice, practice. And I thought maybe I would share with you some of the small quilt sandwiches or quilt blocks, usually orphan blocks, that I use for practice. And so I've accumulated quite a bit. And they're not in any particular order. They're just kind of things that I like and my thoughts about why I did what I did in that particular practice piece. So, yeah, we'll go through that too. But I want to finish off this section. She is looking so good. And of course, now I'm thinking about, am I going to bind it or am I going to face it? Let me know in the comments. What would you do? Would you bind it or face it? Lately, I've been in a facing craze, facing everything. All right, now I need to go up. Facing for me is very quick, a little bit quicker than binding. So if you're just joining me for the first time, I'm using the Stitchline Ruler to do improvisational ruler quilting. What is improv? It is using these fabulous reference lines on this ruler to help me stitch without marking and to stitch any way I want based on what I know how to stitch, right? And then once I know how to stitch certain designs, I know that I can create other designs as inspiration from the original design. So with this improv quilting, straight line improvisational quilting, what I do is I create line structures. And once I have that structure in place, I can quilt any way I want. And that's really the beauty of practice and experimentation, is that you never know which way it's going to go. And that's why I said earlier that although this area is very similar to this area up here, with one slight modification, I pulled one design element out of here and brought it in here to repeat. But then I did something different and it changed it. So I just went with it. I wasn't going to pull out the stitches. I just said, okay, if I did it here, I'll just repeat it someplace else so that it's a cohesive design element. And I didn't mean to initially change the design that I initially thought of, but that's how it goes. I thought I was going to get the same result by doing it a certain way, and I got a different result. And so I just went with it. That's the beauty of improv. Do I have anyone here with me yet? Yes, there's Cassie. Hey, Cassie, how are you? What are you doing this 4th of July weekend? How are you? And hey, there goes Wilda. Hey, Wilda. All right. You would hand bind it. Of course you would, Wilda. You would hand bind it. Over here, I'm looking over here because over here is my laptop and I can see your comments. So glad that you ladies are here. So Wilda says she would hand bind it, of course. Now she knows, that I don't like hand binding. I still have many things that are not finished because I haven't finished the binding on the back. And hello, Cassie. So glad that you're here. Let's see. I got something in the way here. Hold on. All right, there we go. Now I can see the comments. Yay! Afternoon naps are nice. I didn't have one today. I like to have one at least one a day. It allows me to get a second wave of energy to do more quilting. What are you ladies working on? Are you working on any projects? Have you just finished something recently? Okay, where was I? Here we go. I did mention the last time we were together on Quilt Conversations Live that I was going to have a special guest this month, this July. And I'm so excited because we did our interview yesterday. It's all recorded. I'm going to edit the interview so that I can share it with you. We were on for about an hour and a half, but some of it I will not share only because it repeats in part of it. So I'll just edit out all the really good parts. But it was such a great conversation. So I can't wait to share it with you. So let's see. You're working on a Juneteenth project. So you're ready for next year. Awesome. Hey, there goes Kathy. Hey, Kathy. How are you, ladies? 906 Quilting is Kathy. She's working on a paper piecing project. But you're not so satisfied with it. Sorry to hear that. Ooh, Wilda, scrap quilt. Scrap quilt. What's the pattern for your scrap quilt? Is it one you've done before or something brand new? Okay, I'm in the right place. So I really want to finish this on camera. Get this done. So she's ready for facing or binding. I still haven't decided. I may do the binding only if I have some already made. I have a binding stash. Do you ladies have binding stash? Binding already made, ready to go? I know I need to replenish mine. But getting back to the interview, so don't miss out. July 17th for Quilt Conversations Live. It's going to be a fun conversation, inspirational conversation with one of our fellow Quilt Conversation Live ladies. All right. So, hi, recovering from surgery. Oh no. I'm sorry to hear that. That's not good. I hope your recovery is quick, 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 quick. Well, that's good, Kathy. Make more binding than you need so it's always ready. I like that. Did anyone make any special food for the weekend? Any special meals? Barbecuing? A severe weather rainstorm just left my area. The trees were bending. Heavy rains. I get into a maybe you do this too, get into a cooking or baking, what do you call it, habit, like it's a temporary thing, you really want to do something. So lately I've been baking quite a bit, and I made the most delicious focaccia bread. I have a bread maker. How many of you have a bread maker? Oh, so those are new patterns, Wilda. A quilt you saw in a magazine, and the other one is a free pattern online. That sounds like fun. Sounds like fun. I just finished last weekend I did something different. Now, usually I just do one piece of fabric for the backing of my quilts. How many of you ladies do that? Sometimes if um it needs to be cut because the quilt is bigger than the width of the fabric, I have to piece together, but it's still one fabric just in two pieces. But this time I decided to do a pieced back. I tried to keep it as simple as possible, but now the back fabric for the original quilt looks like a quilt in and of itself. So it's almost like a two-sided quilt. Have you ladies done that before? Let me know. So Wilda made pasta salad. Hmm. It has everything that you need in one dish. I like that. Meat, veggies, everything. So I made this delicious focaccia bread with my bread maker, and I took the long recipe. I the bread machine did all the kneading and all of that, right? And then once that's all kneaded, you can either let it sit for a couple hours and bake it. But I was going to a home Bible study. That's what I was making it for. I made some lentil soup with um, mild Italian sausage and carrots and cabbage. Oh, delicious lentil soup. And I thought, well, why don't I make a nice bread for it? So that's it. I've never tried focaccia, so I'm going to do that. And I wanted the bread to be fresh for the home Bible study. So I did the other part of the recipe. Instead of letting it sit for 2 hours in baking, you let it sit inside the fridge for 10 to 12 hours. Then once it comes out, it comes to room temperature, and you push down the the dough, and then you put it inside your pans with olive oil, and you poke the holes in it, with focaccia. I don't know if you ladies made it before. Then you have to let it sit again for another hour to 2 hours to let it rise. And then after you do that, then you can put anything you want on top. You can put cheese, you can put vegetables, again, smothered in olive oil, tomatoes, peppers, anything you want, onions. I didn't do any of that since this was my first time. I said, let me keep it simple. And it turned out so good, delicious. But it was a long process. I don't know that I'll do it frequently, but I wanted to try it. So I'm in this baking mood. And no Miracle Whip. You got that right, Wilda. No Miracle Whip. Good. Yes, it is a good way to use leftover fabric for the backs of quilts. I agree. It was delicious. Everyone enjoyed it. And it's very hearty bread. If I added all those vegetables and maybe even some meat, I would think it was just a full meal too, like your salad. Now, if you didn't know this, I have a sweet tooth. Did you know that? Did I ever say that? I have a sweet tooth. Before I take my first bite of a meal, I'm already thinking about dessert. Raise your hand if that's you. So now this bread machine, of course, came with a recipe book. And I had to buy some bread flour, and I love King Arthur bread flour. And since I've been making these things for the home fellowship, I said, well, let me just get the big 5-pound King Arthur bread flour from Costco. So I got that a couple of months ago. So of course, I looked for some more recipes, and I found my favorite: homemade cinnamon rolls. Homemade cinnamon rolls. Oh my. Yes, I made them. Yes, they were delicious. I ate them all by myself. I had one every night for a week. I know, terrible. Delicious. But I'll go through these phases, and I probably won't make it again, for a while. Okay, what am I doing here? I am going all the way across. Yeah. Something happened here. I'm not sure what. Hmm. Let's see. Self-control. I would eat them all in one night. Yes. It's very tempting, especially when they're warm out of the oven. Now, I don't like icing. So, no icing for me. It's just the straight. And I like desserts that are more cake and bread like desserts, not um, cake. Although I do like pound cake, and I like shortbread, cookies, or scones. I like more bread like desserts. I don't know if I like lemon desserts. It depends on the dessert. Like, I don't like lemon cream pies or custard type desserts. They're not my favorite. The only one that I will say that's maybe in that category is cheesecake. And of course, tiramisu. Tiramisu is my favorite. So if you ever decide that you want to surprise Geraldine with a special delivery, a dessert delivery, I will be your bestie for life if you send me a delicious tiramisu, authentic Italian tiramisu cake. Yes. Do you like lemons? 3 cheers for sweet things. I can overdo it, Wilda. I can. That's the challenge with having a bread machine and making these big batch things just for yourself. All right. So, who are you making the scrappy quilt for? Is it for yourself, or are you giving it away? Is it for someone at church? And Kathy, what's happening with your foundation paper piecing project? Are you going to start over? You going to do something different? She's almost done. See, I want to finish her so that I can chat with you ladies about. Go back. Okay. My progress so far is so far is okay. The colors aren't working, but you like the pattern. Yeah, I know how that can go sometimes. Try it again. Yeah, you weren't feeling your full self, especially after surgery. That definitely had something to do with it, I'm sure. Yeah, so I was talking to someone about, well, you guys, ladies know the last interview with Jacqueline where we talked about practice. I'm doing this lecture on improvisational ruler quilting, and I was talking to my sister today. She likes to dance, and she has been dancing for over 10 years. I remember when she first started learning, and she was very focused on technique, and learning the steps, learning like you're Kathy, you're learning foundation, and I think you're learning, if I got that correct. If I'm sorry if I'm wrong about that, but basically, it's how do we move from technique learning, like when we first learned how to quilt, to truly expressing ourselves, our creative selves, and the technique is a tool. You're not learning the technique anymore. You're learning how to express yourself with the technique. So my sister and I were talking about that, and so she was relating how she's in this phase in her dancing life where she dances with a lot of different partners. She goes to these dance events, and they mainly are to practice dancing or to have fun dancing. When she first started going, it was for her to learn the technique and learn how to be led by a dance partner. And so tonight she was telling me how each guy who leads her in the dance, leads in a different way, and you have to learn how to follow that lead. And I thought, wow, not only do you have to know the dance already, you don't have to know the moves, but now you have to learn how your partner moves you and leads you in a dance, and each one is different, which I didn't know that. Over the years that we've talked, maybe she mentioned it before, but I don't remember. So, of course, I quickly related that to quilting and how, we learn techniques, whether it's foundation paper piecing or ruler quilting. And the whole idea is that we want to have more creative freedom in making scrappy quilts, making foundation quilts or paper piece quilts, ultimately just to express who we are creatively, like picking the colors that we want in a quilt. All right. So for this lecture that's coming up for improv quilting, it's like we learn all these techniques, but my hope is that most of us will move past the techniques so that we can share our individual selves, who we are as quilters, as quilt artists. Because art is self-expression. It's not anyone can learn a technique to some proficiency, but ultimately it's the interpretation of a particular, it's the way someone uses the technique to express themselves creatively in quilting. I think that's what makes it really interesting and unique for each of us. That even sometimes we can all pick the same quilt pattern, right? We can buy a quilt pattern, the same one, but we choose different fabrics. We choose different ways to quilt it. And I think that's really the fun and joy in it. What do you ladies think? All right, I think I'm done. It got a little squirrely here at the end, but I'm okay with that. I'm not sure what was going on, but I think I have just a little bit more, maybe. Yeah. All right, I'm going to end there. She is done. Finished. Let's see. I can't see. I don't know how much you can see on camera. How much of the thread texture you can see. Let me know. But she's all finished. Let me go in front of the machine. I think she turned out pretty good. What do you ladies think? Do you like it? And even though it seems a little dense, there's half inches in between all the stitching. It doesn't feel stiff, right? I just love how it turned out. It looks pretty good. What do you ladies think? I think the close-up camera is helping you see some of it, which is good. All right. It's hard to hold her. Yeah. I like it. You like it? Geometric feel. Yep. Very modern. Thanks. I'm happy with it. And this is a panel. It's for practice. You know, practice pieces come in all sizes, right? So as promised, I pulled out some of my practice pieces I said I'd share with you. All right, I have quite a few here. So whenever I get a new ruler or template, I like to see what I can do with it. And sometimes I will incorporate, let me start up with this first. A couple of stitching. It's hard to see all the stitching in it. Let's see, how's that? I think that might be a little bit better. It's not a lot, but it's not only practicing the ruler quilting of it, it's also practicing where to place designs within a quilt block. So that's what I like to do. I like to take orphan blocks or blocks that I'm testing. Whenever I'm working on a pattern, designing a pattern, I always do test blocks, and then I use those test blocks for practicing my ruler quilting, either the technique or how I can use it to express my creativity within the quilt block. So that's an example. Um, and then I remember with Westerly Design, when I was teaching as an accredited teacher, I was teaching their sampler set. Kathy, you're familiar with that sampler set. I took that sampler set and stitched designs in this. Each of the strips, this is a quilt as you go. Let me see if I get with the close-up camera. You can see the different designs in that. So each strip, I would stitch a different pattern, right? So that was kind of fun to do that. And this is a June Taylor Quilt as you go stocking. So that was kind of fun to do. And so this is how I encourage practice, is to do small projects. And then there was several new templates. Westerly Design would come out with these new templates like every 3 months or so. When I was teaching back then, I think they're still doing the same thing now. I don't follow up as much as I used to. But I would always incorporate the new template with some old ones to see how I could put them together. And I love how this one came out. I don't know in what scenario I will take this and put it inside a real quilt, but I have it as a reference. And this one I really like a lot. So this was the new template here that I only used half of it on this side. I'm hoping that the close-up camera allows you to see it. Maybe that blue might be a little contrasty, I'm not sure. But this was the new template, and I did some different things with it, some echo quilting. Once that was in place, I said, let me bring in the clamshell, and I did that on the bottom, clamshell, to fill in the space. Then I took an echo around that to separate the clamshell from the rest, and I did some wavy lines and put in some free motion with a wavy ruler. Then I did some free motion circles. I didn't use a template for that. But I think that adds some nice separation of the wavy lines. It adds additional texture. Yeah, so I had fun with that. So I like having fun. You know, this is my sandbox, if you will. My place where I can play is when I just say, I'm going to just play with some templates, see what happens, what kind of techniques I can use, what works well together. So that's that. And often I will just make several quilt sandwiches and just have them on standby just in case. Oh, you like it. I'm glad you like it. Oh, you like that one too. Thanks. So that's that one. And now, same blue fabric. And again, another new template. At the time, it's not new anymore. And I was on, remember I told you about that I would have these, but when it comes to food, I would say, oh, I want to bake. So I just bake for like a month and then I won't bake again for a while. I go through these fads of baking, which I'm doing now, right? But I did the same thing with rulers, and one was circles. I love quilting circles. So for a straight couple of years, every quilt has some kind of circle in it. And so I would take the new templates and then find a way to incorporate a circle with it. So this was a new template, this one here, and I forget the name of it, but you can see, right, these little, I don't even know what you call them, but it creates these fan-like things, right? So I did that, and then I said, what if I put some circles around that design? And so I did that. Then, of course, I had some empty space over here. So there's that design with the circles, and they're echoed. Then, of course, I'm always practicing something that I like and want to improve at. And then I just put in some feathers alongside. So I think that turned out really fun. And then I changed up the thread and added in some swirls and pebbles around that. When we just play and see what happens, one, on a small quilt sandwich like this, it's a low commitment. Low commitment. Spinning branch, that's what you think it is? Okay, Kathy, you're probably right. I just don't remember. Some of these templates I have in my template library that I haven't touched in years. But it will come in handy for the right project. So that's why no matter what quilting template or ruler you have, it's good to practice with it on these small sandwiches. Keep them handy so that when that quilt that comes, you have a ready reference to see, hey, maybe I like this design, and at least you know how to stitch it and you know how it's going to look, right? So that's another one. And then, because this is what I love to do, maybe this is you too, that you take a technique and you say, well, what if I use this ruler not just for stitching a fun design, right? What if I take this ruler and use it for applique? Now, I wish I put dates on these. These are so many years old. I mean, I started with Wesley Design in 2015 as an accredited teacher. And I can't remember the last time I officially taught a class for them. Not that I don't use their rulers, I do when I teach at quilt shows and stuff like that, but they're more geared toward my teaching style and the stuff that I believe quilters want to learn. But anyway, nevertheless, I decided I wanted to try this template right here with applique. So this is what this is. And of course, this was during my circle craze. So this is the same template, but I put felt after I quilted the background. I put felt down and then used the same template and quilted this applique on top. It's kind of a odd, strange looking thing, but it has a nice softness to it. And I just thought, I can do that for a child's quilt, a baby quilt in any way that I want. And then there's different circle sizes all in the background. 1 inch, 2 inch, half an inch circles all around this. Yeah, this may have been, I don't know, 2017, 2018. Yeah, it was prior to 2020. All this stuff is, I didn't do this. This was not even in the 2000s, not 2021 or 2022. I wasn't doing any of this then. This was all back that time between 2015 and 2019. What year I don't know. I guess if we knew what year this came out, this is when I did that. But isn't that a fun thing to do? Yeah. Oh, it's the honeycomb. This is the honeycomb quilt template. Yeah, it is fun. It is so fun. So it's not the spinning branch, it's the honeycomb. All right. Yeah, the colors, it's all kind of working well together. So that's what I'm going to do when we get together on Saturdays. It's going to be the first, second, and third Saturday, 7 p.m. I'm going to share with you some of my practice pieces from 2015 to 2020. Put it that way. All ruler quilting, right? Some free motion, because I love free motion too. But since this session was all ruler quilting, I thought I'd share these with you. So much fun. So what's next? If you don't remember, I mentioned it briefly, but I'm going to have a lecture on the next CT Publishing event. CT Publishing puts together amazing resources for quilters, sewers, crafters. They have a lot of quilting books, and they put together a virtual event. And this one, they do multiples every year. So this one for the summer is called Patchwork Power. And one of my favorite piecing instructors is I bought several of her templates. She's an amazing person. And one of my favorite rulers that she designed, cutting ruler from Creative Grids, Karen Montgomery. If you haven't heard of her, go check her out on YouTube. She has amazing tools and tips. Her 3.5 by 12-inch Creative Grids ruler is my favorite ruler. I use it every time I make anything. I use it for cutting fabric. I use it for cutting strips. She has a unique way of piecing. I have some of her piecing templates. She's an amazing designer and tool designer, quilt designer and tool designer. She is the main speaker at Patchwork Power. So there's 10 of us. She's the main speaker. So I'm definitely going to be there for that. I speak around 12 o'clock. It's an all day thing. There's replay access. You get access to it unlimited. So if you can't make the whole thing, you just come for what you can and then you watch the replay of each session. They are worth it. I did one in April. I did one last summer. And it's such a good value. You learn a lot, and there's always some freebies. Yes, 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 always some freebies. So save $20 when you register. The link is in the description box below, or you can just go to ctpub.com and then put in PP26 Geraldine to save $20. I'm going to share all about ruler quilting. I'm going to share about this quilt that you've been watching me quilt for the last month. That's now finished. I'm going to do some more photos on it, some more detailed photos, and I'm going to talk about this whole process in more detail in that lecture. So I hope you can make it. Yeah, it does look retro. Thank you. Thank you so much. So yeah, join me for that. I can't wait for it. I've been putting together some unique and special videos. I won't share videos of this, I'll share photos, but for the lecture, for my 1 hour, I get a whole hour to share with you about improv quilting. I put together a really special lecture for you. It's a little bit of me chatting like I'm doing now and talking about what improv quilting is and isn't when it comes to ruler quilting, that is. And then I'm going to show you a series of videos on different techniques with ruler quilting. Now, I'm not going to do it live because I don't have enough time. So instead, I recorded, I think, like 6 different videos, and I shorten them and use the strongest parts. And I talk about precision in quilting. And part of that precision, of course, is in the ruler, but it's also in the machine that you have. So I'm going to talk about that too. And I'm going to give when one of those videos, I show you how I use the laser light on the sit down Q20 for precision. The combination of the lines on the ruler and the precision of the laser light, oh my goodness, can't be matched. So I give a very detailed demo on how to do that. That's all going to be at this event. So come join. Anywho, ladies, it's good to hear what you've been up to. Can't wait to see your scrap quilt, Wilda and Kathy. I hope you feel better soon. And I look forward to hearing more about your project. I don't think I heard anything from Sheer Bear 88. What's your first name? I don't think I got a chance to hear your name. I know, am I pronouncing it? And what does the Share Bear 88 represent? I know everyone has special sign-on names that are usually meaningful. But I think that's it for tonight. I wasn't going to stay on too long. I don't know if there's going to be fireworks with all the rain we've had in our area. We'll see if they'll still do it. We had severe thunderstorms and wind here in Virginia. But if you are going to go see fireworks, enjoy, be safe, and I will see you, let's see, next Saturday, same time, 7 p.m. See, that's going to be the 13th. Nope, I'm in the wrong year. That's 2027. Excuse me. I'm looking ahead, thinking about a vacation with my sister, which I talked about at the last live, that I'm ready for another vacation. It's been a couple years. Last vacation was in 2024. 26 July. Okay. The 11th. Saturday the 11th. And then Quilt Conversations Live was Friday the 17th. Come for that special conversation with one of our Quilt Conversation Live ladies. You will be inspired. All right. Anything else before I sign off? Enjoy your delicious salad. Wilda, say hello to Ben for me. Kathy, get the rest you need to get better. And I will see you ladies again soon. Is there anything that I forgot? Oh, I did forget something. In the description box below in the video, I did put a couple of links down there for you. Now, let me see. I'm going to read them off. What links I have there. One is a check-in survey. This is a fun survey that's on my website. I put a link in the chat. It's pinned at the top for my website. On the home page, I have created a 10-question survey about where you are in your quilting journey and where you want to go. So you answer the questions, and based on your responses, there's 3 things based on your responses that might be your next step in your quilting journey. So just go take the survey and see if it's helpful for you. It doesn't cost you anything, just take the survey. Then the other thing I have for you is if you're new here and you're just learning about the Stitchline Ruler and you want to learn more about this, go to my website, the link's in the description, and look for Stitchline Ruler in the tab and you'll learn more about the ruler. There's a ton of videos here on the YouTube channel. I show you how to stitch multiple designs. And ladies, I know I shouldn't say anything, but I have to. Remember, we're meeting here on the 17th for Quilt Conversations Live. One of our quilt members, I interviewed her. She showed me yesterday what she's been doing with the Stitchline Ruler that I haven't even done yet. She is amazing. So you got to come for that. If anything else, she shows some beautiful designs that she's made with the ruler. I'm really excited about that. What else is in the description box below? So we said the check-in survey, where you are, where you want to go, Stitchline Ruler info. There's the link for the CT Publishing with the coupon code so you can save $20. And then if you like the stocking, Quilt As You Go stocking, it's batting. So you can buy this by June Taylor. It's pre-marked batting with all the lines for the stocking. They show you exactly how to make the stocking inside when you get it. So I think you get like 2 or 4, I forget how many of the stockings in this one purchase. So it's all pre-marked for you. So it's a pattern that's been printed on the batting. So I wanted to give that for you. So that's what's in the description box below in the video. If you're interested in any of those things, go take a look. All right. Yep, it is 250 years. Amazing. Still such a very young country, right? Compared to others that are a few hundred, several hundred years old, 1,000 years old. Yeah, but still 250 years. All right, ladies. Take care. I'll see you next time.